Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video, and today I'm doing another sort of video. It's a continuation kind of thing of this other video. If you haven't seen it, it should be on my channel by now, which is my top 3 dislikes of the new series. So obviously in reverse to that, I'm doing my top 3 likes of the new series. So 3 things that I really like about the new series that, make it better than, the classic series, or just are really good, that have just made it even better than what it already was, and stuff. I have my notes over here, so if you're wondering why I'm looking over this general vicinity, that's why. But anyway, in at number 3, the scope of the show, kind of when I was thinking about this, I meant mainly outside of the show itself, but I guess both really. Meaning in the show, the scope of the show is bigger, like the it's more varied and stuff. Obviously now it's easier for them to do sort of like sort of far off distant planets and stuff with really better CGI and stuff like that. But I mainly meant outside of the Doctor Who universe itself. I kind of meant that sort of the scope of the show is bigger, meaning like outside, as a media, within the TV media, I think it's got bigger, is what I'm trying to say. Like they did it with, like, Christopher Eccleston playing the Doctor, made it bigger because he's a well-known actor. And I think the same thing can be said about John Hurt, getting him as the 8 kind of War Doctor. You can it makes the there's more scope to the show, like the sort of the scope, and it makes it bigger and better, because it's the scope, basically it means that it's bigger, basically, the episodes feel bigger, and so there's a bigger, wider, varied audience. There's which, because I don't know why, but I always picture just mainly sort of male people watching the classic series, and that and stuff, and obviously kids, depending on when they were when they grew up and stuff, depending on which Doctor they watched and so on. But obviously then still watching it as teenagers and adults. But but now I think it's got much more sort of varied varied audience, and stuff, I feel, at least, and it's got more varied episodes, so there is more of a sort of varied audience, like characters, people can connect more with different sort of stories, that aren't always just about men saving the day or whatever. The companions more involved and stuff, but yeah. Number 2, music. The music, obviously, Murray Gold, what more do we need to say, we've got him doing the music for Doctor Who, superb job, makes it way more atmospheric, sort of atmospheric, and just brings the show to life. It's like a second layer to the show. It adds to the show so much. It paints a picture, basically, and just adds to the action adventure, or the sort of kind of sinister eeriness of a abandoned house, or the name of the Doctor. If you listen closely enough, you can hear sort of violin kind of music in the background, really lightly done, but I just find it, it's a soft touch, sometimes, it's that kind of low level sort of music that that they have in the show that that makes it better, because like it's not always like like in your face, which a lot of classic fans say it is, which I guess it is when companions leave or whatnot, or something bad happens to a companion. It is quite, in your face, kind of really loud, and sometimes does come above what is actually visually being shown on screen or is happening, and stuff. But I guess for me personally, I've grown up with it, so it's kind of more sort of, I'm more used to it. But I can see the pros and the cons of that, and I guess all I can say is that at least the music's good, and and at least it's not always like that. It's only used at kind of key points, I guess. But I guess again, if it is really tragic, a companion leaving, then surely enough, we don't even need the music for us to all be tearing up and kind of feeling like, that we've lost a best friend or something, But again, the music is really top notch. It adds to the thrill, the action adventure. The music as well always matches the episodes. I've never felt like a piece of Murray Gold's music hasn't sort of matched an episode. If it's a kind of a running scene, then it'll be fast paced, kind of running kind of music that kind of encapsulates what's happening on screen. That's what I'm trying to say, that it always matches up, which is always good, because for whatever reason sometimes you can actually get musicians or people who add music into shows that don't always feel like they match what you see on screen and what you hear sometimes in different shows, or just in Doctor Who in the past, just generally in the new series and in the classic series, can sometimes be disjointed, and not match what you see and what you hear. But yeah, last but not least, the budget is obviously grander, and that's always a plus, because then that means that generally everything is better. More money equals better, really. They've got more money, advertise Doctor Who, which then makes the fan base bigger and the scope of the show bigger. They can afford to make really good CGI models of spaceships, 3D models of spaceships on computers. They can get better. They can get like kind of really good actors. Like Christopher Eccleston, or they can get a good actor to play, like, I don't know, the person who played Vincent van Gogh or whomever. They can get better costuming, better marketing and advertisements of the show, all sorts of stuff. They can, with the budget, they can just add so much more, and that's always better. You always want more of a good thing, or at least I always want more of a good thing, even though saying about the budget, the odd thing is they seem to have got rid of, at least in Series 7, the confidentials and two-parters, which is a definite no-no, and has made many Doctor Who fans, Whovians, also known as Whovians, extremely angry, or and I would say myself included. I like the two-parters, as I said on a Doctor Who forum on Facebook. The sort of, someone said what people's opinion was, and they wanted to know what people's opinion was about no two-parters, and basically what I said was that Doctor Who was founded on cliffhangers, the suspense of not knowing what will happen or how the Doctor will get out of a really bad situation. Okay, let's be honest, it's way more predictable in the new series that he'd probably just Sonic his way out or whatnot, but in the classic series it was built and founded on on cliffhangers. And they got rid of confidentials, which I really liked as well, because it gave you, the viewers and the fan base, insight in how Doctor Who was made. But yeah, I don't know if that is a thing, like, if there are getting a worse budget now or whatnot, but, you know, surely after the 50th they should be still getting a pretty decent budget and that. Again, with the budget sort of thing, comparing it to the classic series, obviously that's what I meant, like, you know, one of the bigger pluses of the new series is the budget, you know, compared to the old series. Obviously I had to start out somewhere, and so obviously, unfortunately, it couldn't just start out with the pretty big and massive size of budget that they have now. You know, they back then, but they've built on that. You know, and I think like Tom Baker's era was the first era where they went to, you know, they went abroad, and in the new series they do that quite a bit. You know, not all the time, but still quite a lot. You know, the interior, the TARDISes are all varied and massive and really big. You know, the costume of the Doctor is always really, you know, really amazingly tailored and suited to that actor. The actors are really good. You know, everything about Doctor Who these days is really sharp, really cutting edge, really good, high quality, and obviously none of that can be done without a really good budget. So yeah, this has been my top 3 things that I I like about the new series. So yeah, thanks for watching, comment, rate and subscribe.